My name is Arthur Collins. I am 71 years old, retired, and I live alone now in a quiet town near Savannah. For most of my life, I believed I was a lucky man. I thought I had done everything right, worked hard, stayed loyal, kept my promises, and protected my family at all costs. But the truth is, I didn't live a lucky life. I lived a carefully constructed lie for 40 years. I had a wife I trusted without question. I had 4 children I loved more than my own breath. And I had a best friend I considered closer than a brother. What I didn't know was that all 3 were connected by a betrayal so deep, it erased my entire identity. I grew up believing that a man's worth is measured by his responsibility. My parents weren't wealthy, but they were honest, disciplined people. From them, I learned that friendship was sacred, marriage was unbreakable, and family was everything. That belief shaped every decision I made. After college, I became a civil engineer. The work paid well, but it required constant travel. Weeks away from home, long projects in other cities, and endless deadlines. I told myself it was temporary, that every sacrifice was for my family's future. My wife, Elaine, always smiled when I left. "Don't worry about us," she'd say. "We'll be fine." And we weren't alone. My childhood best friend, Victor Hale, was always there. Victor and I had grown up together. Same streets, same schools, same dreams. We had promised each other that no matter what happened in life, we'd always have each other's backs. When I married Elaine, Victor stood beside me as my best man. When our first child was born, he was in the hospital hallway before I even arrived. I saw that as loyalty. I mistook familiarity for trust. The years passed quickly. 1 child became 2. 2 became 4. I worked. Elaine stayed home. Victor visited often, too often. When I was away, Victor helped with the kids, drove them to school, fixed things around the house, sat at my dinner table, sometimes even slept on the couch if it got too late. People used to say, "Arthur, you're lucky to have a friend like that." And I agreed. There were moments, small, quiet moments, when something felt off. The children didn't resemble me. Not in looks, not in mannerisms. They didn't laugh like I did, didn't share my habits, didn't carry my expressions. I pushed those thoughts away. Genes are strange, I told myself. They take after their mother. I never questioned Elaine. I never questioned Victor. I never questioned the life I thought was mine. Everything unraveled after I retired. When I stopped traveling, when I started spending more time at home, Victor slowly disappeared. His visits became rare, his calls shorter, excuses more frequent. It hurt, but I assumed life had simply pulled us in different directions. Then my youngest son, Noah, fell seriously ill. The doctors said he needed a kidney transplant. The family gathered for testing, hoping one of us would be a match. I was calm, confident. I was his father. Of course I would help him. The doctor called me into a private room. He didn't look confused. He looked careful. "Mr. Collins," he said slowly, "there's something you need to know." That sentence alone made my chest tighten. "You are not Noah's biological father." I laughed. I actually laughed. "That's impossible," I said. "Test it again." He nodded. We did. I asked him about my other children. He didn't answer immediately. Finally, he said the words that destroyed everything I had ever believed. "You are not biologically related to any of them." I don't remember leaving the hospital. I don't remember driving home. I remember sitting in my car, staring at my hands, wondering who I was if I wasn't a father. The truth came fast after that. DNA results confirmed what the doctor already knew. All 4 children shared the same biological father, Victor Hale, my best friend, my brother, the man I trusted with my home, my wife, my life. When I confronted Elaine, she didn't scream. She didn't deny it. She didn't even cry. She just sat there in silence. 40 years, I whispered. "How long?" Her answer was barely audible. "Almost from the beginning." The betrayal wasn't just physical, it was calculated. Every trip I took, every night I slept alone in some distant city, every sacrifice I made for my family's future. Someone else was living my life. Victor wasn't a guest in my home. He was the man of the house. I filed for divorce. Victor vanished completely. But the hardest part wasn't losing my wife or my friend. It was facing my children. I told them the truth. All of it. I expected anger, confusion, rejection. Instead, my oldest daughter took my hand and said, "Blood doesn't change who raised us." That moment didn't erase the pain, but it saved my soul. Today, I live quietly. I no longer define myself by lies. I was betrayed, yes. But I also learned something powerful. You can steal a man's past, you can manipulate his present, but you cannot rewrite the love he gave freely. And that love, real love, was never a lie.